So here are the extra head sculpts from the older Cyclops that I just showed you guys, and now let's see if these actually fit on the new Cyclops and if it will look good. So let's check it out. So just hold your figure properly and pop the head out. Make sure. There you go. And then let's try out this head sculpt and just push it in. Oops. There you go. And here is, I don't know, it looks weird to me because of the long neck. I don't know. So check that out. And look at the back. There's a gap there. See that? So his neck is not completely covered. You know, check that out. So I wish they included an extra head sculpt with this figure. It's gonna be the same thing with this other figure. So it just looks weird. I mean, you could probably pose him some ways where it's not too obvious, like facing forward or, you know, angled, and that would probably work. But kind of looks weird when you look at it from different sides or in the back. So let's compare the new Marvel Legends animated series Cyclops next to another figure in my collection, which is the Marvel Legends Cyclops with the bomber jacket. This figure was actually released with the Love Triangle 3-pack with Jean Grey and Wolverine, and I wish they released the one without the bomber jacket, but this is the only Cyclops figure that I have that I can compare to the animated series Cyclops. So I think this pretty much, hopefully it's good enough. But as you can see here, there's a big difference in the sculpts already. You know, the new one is using a more updated body sculpt compared to the old one. And let's start out with the face. The sculpts are very different. This more resembles the animated series look. As you can see here, dark brown hair, kind of light brown, and the face is really painted differently. So check that out. So just very different face sculpts. Check out the back. So, but this is still a solid figure for me. I really like this version of Cyclops with the jacket. And then let's look at the straps. So the straps on his body, on the new one, it's all molded on, you know, so you don't have to worry about moving. And check this out. This one is using this is the old Cyclops, you know, figure, and it's just the straps are loose and it's not molded onto the figure. So when you move it, you crouch it or you bend, you move him around, and that's what happens. And it even came out here in the back, so I didn't even know that comes out. But that's kind of annoying. And see here, see the belt pouches here, you can see bigger pouches on the belt, which is pretty cool. So here, and I mean the X logo is pretty cool too. I like the X logos on the belt and on the chest right there. And of course the straps here on the legs or on the thighs are now molded in also, but here it's still separate pieces, and this falls down a lot, you know, whenever I try to pose this Cyclops, which is kind of annoying. So that sucks, but you know, I'm glad that they were in the new mold, they molded it in. And of course also on the calves, there's straps also on the calves, and this comes off easily too. Check that out. See, keeps on falling down to his ankles, which is kind of annoying. And this one's molded in, so big improvement of that, which is pretty cool. So that, and yeah, so check out the legs here, very different molds. I'm glad that they updated the Cyclops figure. And of course check out the feet. You know, check this out. Like, look at the size of the new feet on the new Cyclops. And one thing that annoyed me about this figure too is that this Cyclops had very small feet. I mean, like, look at that, tiny feet. I mean, you're like supposed to be like a 6'2" guy, and then you have like these small feet. I don't get it. I wish they designed it better, and didn't give him these small feet. But I'm glad they improved that on the new Cyclops, and they're using the more updated feet. So, I mean, aside from the paint, also that's a big difference also in the paint, because the new Cyclops is using the shading, animated shading, which is pretty cool. So, all right, so let's compare animated Cyclops with some of the other Marvel Legends figures. We have Marvel Legends Jean Grey, which was included in the Love Triangle 3-pack with Wolverine and Cyclops, and looks like he scales pretty well with her. And on the right, we have the Bomber Jacket Cyclops, I did a comparison with, and as you can see, they're pretty much the same height. So next up, we're comparing animated Cyclops to some of the figures that came before him. So we have the animated series X-Men Wolverine on the left, and we have animated series Morph on the right. So as you can see there, Wolverine really sizes up well with Cyclops. Wolverine should still be. I feel like Wolverine should still be a little shorter, but this is pretty much his generic height in the Marvel Legends figures that was been released by Hasbro for so many years, and then I don't think they're gonna make a shorter version of him anytime soon. But it really scales well with Cyclops. And on the right we have Morph, which still using the old bomber jacket upper body from the Cyclops that I showed you earlier, which is the Love Triangle Marvel Legends Cyclops. And then, but on the bottom, as you can see, his legs and thighs and his feet, it's the updated mold already. So they took away the straps and molded in the belts. So that's what they're using on the new Cyclops also, which is pretty cool. So they pretty much are similar. Not much of difference, just a little bit of the color. I think the Morph has a darker blue tint on his costume, so compared to the new Cyclops, just a little bit lighter. So as you can see there, they're pretty much the same at the bottom part of their body. So and it looks like Morph is a little bit taller because he's using the old upper body. So I feel like Cyclops should be taller than Morph. But this is how these two figures scale with him. All right, now so I have the X-Men animated series Cyclops packaging standing next to some of the other X-Men animated series packaging from the other figures. These are all pretty much the figures that I have in the animated series line. I didn't want to buy the other figures. They still have a Storm, Mystique, Mr. Sinister. I don't know what else was released, but I just didn't want to buy it because I'm gonna get duplicates of the same figure. We just updated paint apps. But yeah, I'm trying to prevent myself from buying those other figures. But as you can see here, the artwork on these packaging is pretty awesome. It's done by the great Dan Wiesenmeyer, which is the original artist for the X-Men animated series. And his artwork really pops out, man. But this is one of the reasons I bought these figures, because of the packaging, man. It really gets to you. Hasbro knows what they're doing over there in the marketing side of things. But if you also turn on this side, if you turn the boxes sideways, check that out, man. Boom. They really look good on a shelf side by side. So these are pretty much like display pieces that you can have on a shelf. So check that out. And these are based on the packaging is based on the VHS style tapes of back in the 90s. These are supposed to be like slip covers, cardboard slip covers over the VHS tape. So we just pull the slip cover out and it will reveal the VHS tape. But this is a great throwback to that to those animated series VHS tapes of the 90s. So overall, man, this new Cyclops looks pretty cool, and I'm glad that they updated the mold of the body on this. They used the new mold, and I'm glad that they molded on the straps all over his body, because those loose straps on the old Cyclops were kind of annoying. It keeps on falling off, and so no more of those. I'm glad that they really updated that to this. was probably started on the new Morph figure, which they released before Cyclops. And overall, man, I really like the colors of this figure. It captures the animated look from the cartoon series, and check that out, man. So new sculpt on the head, you know. Check out, you can see the shading there here on the visor too. The shading on the belts, you know, on the straps right there, on the boots also. Check that out. It's pretty cool. And the back, not much on the back, but you know, so it really looks pretty cool. One of the things that I really like is they added extra hands on him, which is pretty nice. But I really don't like that they didn't include an extra head sculpt for the Cyclops. At least give us the one where he's like screaming, you know, like for his like when he's trying to lead the X-Men or screaming out his optic blast. That would have been a great addition to this. I don't know why they didn't include an extra head sculpt for this Cyclops. That's kind of baffling. They did it for Morph. They did it for Wolverine. I wish they could have done it for this Cyclops. You know, I mean, he just has like a plain serious face. That's it. You know, I think they could have also included effects piece. That would have been great also. You know, and especially it's a new Cyclops. You know, it's a new figure. So I wish they could have added those extra pieces. You know, for this figure. But overall, man, definitely if you're a fan of the animated series Cyclops, definitely pick this figure up. And I mean, not just the animated Cyclops, but the animated X-Men series. So definitely a must-have to your collection. And that wraps up my review of the Marvel Legends X-Men the Animated Series Cyclops. Check this figure out. Here is in hand. Man, just an awesome looking figure. Just a great addition to your Marvel Legends X-Men the Animated Series figures. And he has the brand new mold. I'm really digging the new paint applications to mimic the X-Men the Animated Series, as you can see there. And really looks like he came straight out of the cartoon. And of course, the design is based on the Jim Lee designs back in the 90s. And X-Men is like one of my favorite comic books of all time. You know, I'm a big X-Men fan, you know, and X-Men are like my favorite team in the Marvel universe, you know, and I already have the shirt here too, you know, but just this figure really looks great. And if you want to add him to your collection, he is still in stock at HasbroPulse.com. So go ahead and check the website out and order from there. And all you have to do is pay for shipping. You know, I'm glad that he's still in stock for retail. He's like going for $27.99 and very affordable for a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And you can also check your local comic book shops or hobby shops if they have him in stock. You can ask around, look around, and see if they have him. But you know, I'll be posting the link to the site where you can purchase him, and just it's up to you where you want to get him. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. I really appreciate the support, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.